Hello, grumpy old fart here. Um, there's kind of an odd thing that goes along with when you talk about UFOs, and ever since the okay, I never really gave a lot of credence to the UFOs until very recently. I mean, I enjoy a good UFO story like everybody else. I'm kind of a buff. I keep track of these things, but I never really took them seriously until recently when the Navy reported that their pilots took genuine photos of UFOs. Now, you know, where are they from? Who are they? We don't know. But there's a lot of stories that go along with UFOs, and there's one story that persists. They even made a pretty good movie out of it um, with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones was in it. Good movie. Rip Torn was in it. Good movie. It's called Men in Black. These Men in Black apparently follow UFO stories. And the stories of these Men in Black go all the way back to 1953. There was a guy who ran a small UFO investigation group, and he put out a newspaper and bulletins and things, and he in one of his postings in this little newsletter that he put out, he had a couple of very ominous messages. One of which was that you have to be very careful when you're investigating these UFOs. I don't know the verbatim what it was, but that was basically what it was. And then he shut everything down, disbanded the group, and shut the magazine down, all of it. Just shut it all down. And about 10 years later, he gave an interview. And he said that he was visited by 3 men wearing dark suits. And these people scared the hell out of him. There's a lot of stories that go into what did and didn't happen there. But they scared him bad enough to where he shut his group down. So that in and of itself was ominous. If you follow the UFO stories through the years since then, whenever a really quality story comes up, these Men in Black follow along and they visit people who've seen these UFOs, reported them, got pictures of them, abductees, that kind of thing. And these Men in Black visit them, and they have credentials to be either Air Force or government agents of some kind, but they don't. Later on, when you call to check the Air Force or the government agency or whatever, they've never heard of them. They don't know who they are. They drive around in dark sedans. They photo people. They take videotapes of people. They're very. The stories of these Men in Black are very compelling. They're not like the ones in the movie with Will Smith. These guys are kind of scary. They're not. Some of their physical appearance, some of it doesn't look exactly right. Like maybe they're disfigured somehow, which a lot of people think that they're not actually government agents or military agents, but that they're actually extraterrestrials looking to mop up evidence of their visits, which may very well be, I don't know. But, I mean, nobody can really verify whether these things exist or not. However, there is a photo circulating on the internet of what appears to be and what they claim to be as one of these Men in Black coming through a metal detector entering a building. And there's a report where these Men in Black visited a person in the building. These Men in Black are prevalent in the UFO community, to say the least. There's also sometimes these Men in Black are accompanied by women. Sometimes these women have glowing eyes. I don't know how effective or how prevalent they are. I have heard a few stories about it, but to me, it seems like they're definitely connected to the UFO phenomena one way or the other. If they're part of our government, they're trying to, they're not investigating the UFOs because they're trying to make the evidence disappear. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if they're part of our government, they're trying to keep the UFOs under wraps for whatever reason. If they're part of the aliens, if they are extraterrestrials, they fit in pretty well here, and they're part of the trying to keep the UFO secret. They don't strike me, and I've never seen them. I don't know anything about them, but it seems to me that if the government was sending these people around to investigate, they wouldn't create such an air of ominous, like such an ominous appearance. They would want to be more open and friendly, They could send around Air Force officers, which they do, by the way. So if they're sending around Air Force officers to investigate UFOs, why would they also be sending the men in black to keep it quiet? You see what I mean? That doesn't make much sense. However, again, these stories about the men in black they're prevalent, but they're not with every UFO encounter. So I wouldn't even be bringing them up except for the fact that now the Navy says these UFOs are real, so we have to lend credence to every aspect of these stories. And the men in black are one of these aspects. If they're real, we got to find out who the hell they are, because that adds a whole new dimension to the thing, So at any rate, keep your eyes peeled. You never know who's watching. Have a good day. God bless one and all.